Have you ever found yourself spiraling into worst-case scenarios? One thing goes wrong, and suddenly, it feels like everything is falling apart. This is called catastrophizing, a negative thought pattern where we expect disaster, even when the situation isn't nearly as bad. For example, you might think, if I don't ace this presentation, my boss will be furious, I'll lose my job, and I won't be able to pay my bills. Or, if one part of this project fails, the whole thing will collapse. Sound familiar? Catastrophizing can feel overwhelming, but why do we do this? Why does our brain automatically leap to the worst possible outcomes? Well, it's actually an old survival mechanism. Our ancestors needed to be on constant alert for threats, whether it was wild animals or natural disasters. So, our brains evolved to predict danger and protect us. The problem is, we rarely face life-threatening situations today. Yet, our brain still overestimates the risks in everyday life, like a stressful project or a tough conversation. While our brain thinks it's protecting us, catastrophizing actually causes more harm than good. There are two main ways catastrophizing shows up, horizontal and vertical. Let's break them down. First, there's horizontal catastrophizing. This is when you worry about multiple things going wrong at once across different areas. Imagine you're managing a big work project. You start worrying that the technology will fail, your team won't meet their deadlines, and there won't be enough resources. In your mind, everything is falling apart, all at once. The sheer number of worries can feel overwhelming, but in reality, the chances of everything going wrong simultaneously are slim. Then there's vertical catastrophizing. This happens when you imagine a domino effect, where one bad thing leads to another, and each outcome gets worse. For example, missing a deadline leads to your boss being angry, which leads to losing your job, and then financial ruin. It's like watching a disaster movie where every scene escalates. Both types of catastrophizing create unnecessary stress, but the good news is there are ways to manage them. To manage horizontal catastrophizing, start by breaking it down. First, list out all your worries. By putting them on paper, you'll see that the number of concerns is finite, which can help reduce that overwhelming feeling. Next, perform a probability check. Assign realistic odds to each worry. You'll often realize that the chances of everything going wrong are quite slim. Finally, focus on what you can control and prioritize your efforts. Concentrate on the areas where you can make a difference, which will help you feel more empowered. For vertical catastrophizing, try these strategies. First, challenge the chain by questioning if each step in your imagined disaster is truly connected. Missing a deadline might upset your boss, but it doesn't automatically mean job loss. Next, do a reality check on your worst-case scenario. How realistic is it? Missing a deadline doesn't mean the entire project will fail. Finally, stop the domino effect early by taking action. If you're worried about missing a deadline, communicate with your boss to manage expectations ahead of time. To recap, catastrophizing can take two forms: horizontal, where you worry about multiple things going wrong at once, and vertical, where you imagine a chain reaction of disasters. But with the right tools, like breaking things down, focusing on what you can control, and challenging worst-case scenarios, you can keep catastrophizing in check. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button and check out our previous video on 5 negative thought patterns that increase stress. Don't forget to subscribe to catch our upcoming deep dives into overgeneralization, mind reading, and more.